Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 21st. This week, we are just going to jump right in here, Scorpio. Knight of Cups want to pop out here. So definitely could be a love reading. All three water signs, although I haven't put your cards out yet, but all three water signs seem to be kind of getting love readings this week. But let's see what is going on for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what is going on for you. I love where this is going already. In a lot of ways, I feel like your expectations are being met here in this reading. I always tell people no expectations, because it's like if you have expectations, that's the only time you can be disappointed, right? Is if you expect things to kind of like go your way. But what I would say to you here, Scorpio, is like for the first time in a long time, I feel that things are going your way. That's literally what this is saying to me. So you have the expectations card. So again, I feel like you've been expecting something to happen. You have the death card showing up in the first position, which is you, Scorpio. So you show up in a very strong position in your own reading. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles, which is like material success on the horizon. But that, the Eight of Pentacles could also represent results, just getting results on something you've been working towards. And you have the Justice card as well. So it's kind of like a karmic gift is what the Justice card would be saying. So I feel for some of you, you are getting your karma in a good way with this reading. I do want to see what this next card is here. You do have this message of concern here. I feel like there's been a delay. And the reason I say that also is because you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, material success on the horizon. It's like you're waiting. Nine of Pentacles is the result. So I wouldn't really worry about this. And yeah, it just looks really good. You have the Death card again, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Justice card. Definitely you showing up in a positive position. Eight of Pentacles, like in a lot of ways, I also feel like the Eight of Pentacles is just saying that you're seeing results for your work. I get a lot of these messages for you, Scorpio, from time to time, where I don't really think you're comparing yourself to other people, but I do feel like you're noticing kind of like the comparison between you and other people. It's like maybe you do a certain amount of work or business, and then someone else, you see someone else who's doing less work than you, but it's like maybe you see them as more successful. Same thing in like love as well. It's like maybe you see all your friends, getting married or having children or something like that. And again, like I said, I don't necessarily feel that you're like 100% comparing yourself to these people, but I do feel that you're kind of like noticing, let's put it that way, where it's like you're that type of energy could be kind of weighing heavily on you at this time, Scorpio. And that's what I'm really feeling here in this first row is, again, I feel like it's like you're okay with doing the work, which is great, but at the same time, I feel where you're coming from here, Scorpio, is what I'm trying to spit out. Like, I totally get that, like, energy of, like, okay, come on, like, where are my rewards, right? Well, here they are, right here. Ace of Swords, victory, justice, good things coming in for you. I always like to remind people that the Ace of Swords basically says that you will be victorious, or you're going to be experiencing a victory, but there's still mountains on the card. It kind of says that, there will always be things that you have to deal with in life, but the sword is above the mountains, so it kind of says that future obstacles will be easy to overcome here, Scorpio. You have the moon here. It's coming out with the devil. Again, I feel like this is a heaviness, the kind of like the, that's what I was feeling at the beginning, kind of like at the beginning of the reading there is like the whole, not really comparing energy. To me, comparing is a little bit toxic if you're comparing yourself to other people. And I feel like it stops a lot of people from being successful, because it's like your journey is your own. It's like, that's why comparing yourself to anyone, it really isn't very helpful at all. People always ask me, just to give you an example, people always ask me, should I start a YouTube channel? I want to be successful, but there's so many people on YouTube. I always like to remind people, if something is meant for you, it wouldn't matter if everybody in the world was on YouTube. If you were meant to be on YouTube, or if that opportunity existed for you, it doesn't matter how many people are on YouTube, you would stand out because you're meant to do it, right? So I don't think I don't think we come to Earth necessarily like having to do certain things. I just think we kind of come to Earth and we have certain talents, gifts, skills, and abilities that we're born with, where if we take advantage of those opportunities, we'll be successful. Plenty of people don't take advantage of those opportunities. I think that's something people forget, right? So, I feel like this is kind of like saying there's something you're working on, and I do get that worry, that fear. Like, will I stand out? Am I going to be able to grow? Am I going to be able to whatever? Because I feel like there could be a lot of competition or whatever. But, again, I want to remind you that if something is for you, it's for you, plain and simple. And you have the Queen of Pentacles here. Queen of Pentacles really says you have the resources. Queen of Pentacles says you have everything you need to get moving forward on something here, Scorpio. And the Justice card is a card that says if you start stacking those resources on the right side of the scale, it is going to tilt in your favor. So I feel like you need to realize that with this energy. I almost feel like saying you need to have expectations, but, I'm not a big fan of having expectations. I feel like this is more, I think that expectations card is more saying you need to kind of really deeply believe that something is for you. It's like, to me, it's not like saying expectations like, oh, just expect that something is going to happen. To me, this is more referring to like a very deep belief. Sometimes I think when we know that something is for us, then it will be successful, right? And that's kind of like the more the energy I'm getting there. You have the Temperance card here. I would also say if you're wondering, like, what is this thing that I should be expecting? What is this thing that I am going to be receiving here? What karmic reward am I going to be receiving here, Scorpio? What I would say to you is that Temperance card would say it's something that you've really been trying to work with. Like if you've had a business and if you've been trying this, that, and the other thing to get it to be successful, that's temperance. Temperance is alchemy. It's like turning one thing into another. So if there's something you've been working on in your life or you've been trying to turn it into something else or you've been trying to improve it or whatever, or if you've been trying to turn like a stone into gold, right? Like alchemy. Then this is kind of like saying if you've been trying to do something, then this is probably the area of your life where you're going to see these improvements. This could also be in love as well. So if you're like looking for love, for example, this could be love that where you are experiencing this. You have the Queen of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. I didn't even know you had this. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It is a card that says when you know that something is for you, when you deep down inside truly kind of have this belief that something is for you, then you will have it, plain and simple. To me, this is kind of like a card of brainwashing yourself. It's like one of the easiest ways to reprogram your mind, by the way, Scorpio, is to just brainwash yourself. It's like I always tell people, it's like that's why affirmations work, right? For people who actually do them for a consistent period of time, because you're taking a belief, something you don't believe, and maybe in your subconscious, right? You don't believe something, but by saying it over and over and over again, eventually your brain tells you that it's true. So I feel for some of you, that's kind of like what this card is saying. It's like the more you can kind of brainwash yourself into believing that something is true, the more likely it is going to be true. But again, I feel like this is about you. It's not about somebody else. It's not about like an outside circumstance. So what the hell does that mean? I think like maybe if you're struggling in business, I feel like if you tell yourself every day that you have a very successful business, eventually that will be true, because it's like you're brainwashing yourself to become the person who would have a successful business. Same thing in love. If you tell yourself that you deserve love, then you will have love. And I feel like if you, one of my favorite people all the time, I just said this in the mid-June readings, one of my favorite people, Marissa Peers, she always says you have to say, I am enough, right? If you want love in your life, because most people don't believe they're enough. So it's like, how can you attract a person who is enough into your life if you don't believe that you are enough? And like she always says, it's like when people start doing this, they don't believe it. They don't believe that they are enough. You might say, I am enough, and you might reject it, at first. So I do get that kind of like needing to kind of like believe something on a very deep level with this Seven of Wands. Queen of Swords, very clear card. Crazy, because I'm pretty sure all three water signs, maybe it was just Cancer, but I'm pretty sure all three had the Queen of Swords in that same exact position right there. And so it's like you're seeing things very clearly here. I feel in a lot of ways you're ready to put something kind of in the past. The Queen of Swords is always sitting with her, she's like side on, right? She's sitting to the side and she's always facing towards the future in a reading. So I feel like you're kind of leaving anything toxic in the past. You have the Five of Wands here. Five of Wands is a period of learning. Five of Wands, a lot of people say it's a card of conflict and competition, Scorpio, which it is. But these people are training. They are learning how to fight. They aren't necessarily fighting just to fight, right? So I feel in a lot of ways you're kind of like learning how to fight. Here with the Five of Wands, you're training. You have the Three of Wands, a lot of expansion in the future here. I would definitely say, to me, the Nine of Pentacles and like the Nine of Cups, for example, you have the Nine of Pentacles here. These cards can represent kind of like a membrane, something that we have to break through. Basically, good card, don't get me wrong, the Nine of Pentacles, but there's more. Nines always remind me that you could exceed your own expectations. Nines always remind me that there is something more for you other than, kind of what you're experiencing right now. So nines really ask us to kind of like push it just like a little bit extra sometimes. I don't always feel that, but In your reading here, I definitely feel that, and especially with the Three of Wands, because the Three of Wands is kind of a card of expansion, and, after the Three of Wands, we have the Four of Wands. It is a card of marriage, but it is also a card of freedom, so it kind of says, like, if you can just push just a little bit extra hard in some area of your life where you are experiencing things that are good, then you will reach a whole new level of freedom. My problem with the nines as well here, Scorpio, and what I'm going to tell you is that, like, sometimes we can reach the Nine of Pentacles, for example, and we could be experiencing some abundance. We could be experiencing some, an increase in our finances or whatever. But people, typically what happens with the Nine of Pentacles, and what can happen is you can kind of reach a certain level and then you're like bouncing off the ceiling. You're kind of bumping into a membrane, if that makes sense, that you have to break through. So what will happen a lot of times with the Nine of Pentacles, people will make a certain amount of money and then they'll drop down, then they'll go up, and they'll bump their head again on that same level. Same thing in love as well. It's like you could be improving your love situation, but it's like maybe you always keep running into the same type of person. It's like that's a Nine of Pentacles bump or membrane, whatever you want to call it. So to break through, we have to usually face some sort of fear. We have to do something that we don't want to do, or we have to, kind of believe that we deserve something better. And in your case, I feel like it's a belief. Yeah, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands also ties into the Temperance card. This is experimentation, which is another great way to break through the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles could say that, remember what I was saying about comparing yourself to people like competitors in your business, for example, or competitors that you work with. It can say everybody does something one way. And the Temperance card, Nine of Wands, is you experimenting, trying new things, trying different ways of doing things. And it says if you come up with a new way of doing things, you will break through the Nine of Pentacles. You will reach the 10 of Pentacles, which is something more. And look, what do we have here? You have the Buffalo Spirit. This card says the abundant universe will provide. So I feel like there's a lot of abundance coming in for you, but it is coming in on the other side of some sort of I feel like it's coming in on the other side of like a, kind of some sort of breakthrough is the best way I could say it here, Scorpio. So I feel like you have to like break through something here with this energy. You have the Queen of Cups, the Judgment card, and you have the Fool here, Scorpio. So it's like definitely time for some sort of new beginning. I feel like it's time for you to take some sort of leap of faith with the Queen of Cups here. The Judgment card, I feel, is kind of like a wake-up call in a lot of ways. I also feel like it's kind of like saying to me, why limit yourself as well, especially for those of you in like business, or who are in work or who are having a career. I keep getting this thing for you about like a certain amount of money for whatever reason here, Scorpio, but I feel like you need to go higher. And I feel like you need to realize that you can make a lot more, so it's like maybe you have a business, maybe there's a certain dollar amount that you think is the limit, right? Nine of Pentacles. I feel like you need to break through this Nine of Pentacles. People always leave me a comment without fail saying, how much money do you need and all this other stuff. I'm like, listen, just go, get off my channel, right? If you don't like money, number one. Number two, because I'm all about abundance, right? I think people should be creating as much abundance as they possibly can. And again, if you don't like money, share it with other people. There are places you can donate money, right? There are plenty of people who need it. So as I always tell people, it is your duty to create as much abundance as you possibly can. So I always tell people, create as much as you possibly can, because then you can help other people, plain and simple. So I feel for a lot of you, this Judgment card is like saying, exceed your own expectations, like I said earlier, because you can. And by creating more abundance, you're creating more abundance for other people. They're seeing the abundance. They're creating more abundance. It's like we need to, part of my whole mission doing this channel is to get people to create more abundance, because it's like it creates a positive thing where we can get everybody can have enough abundance. We don't have to live in poverty and all this other stuff, right? We can create more. There is more than enough, and we've been dealing with lack for too long, and I want to help change that. So that's what I'll say there. And so if you're ready, I feel like you can do it too, Scorpio, with this energy. Definitely ready for something. You have the Emperor. Stick to the plan. With the Emperor, I feel like that's you. In a lot of ways, I feel like you're kind of like taking the lead with that energy. I feel like you could be stepping up into leadership roles, leadership positions. I feel like you could just be guiding people as well. If you have a YouTube channel, if you have anything, Three of Wands is getting attention. Three of Wands is a card of being a director. He is kind of standing there, and there are all the three boats in the harbor as well. And, there is a way to read the Three of Wands that he is telling those ships in the harbor where to go. So it's kind of like you could be helping direct certain people in your life. You have the Five of Swords, let go of your fears. Five of Swords really taking a risk as well. And the Seven of Cups, I feel like you need to focus here. as well, what's important. Again, I feel like there's like a lot you don't see, is what I feel like saying. For those of you who are comparing yourself to other people, I feel like there are a lot of things that you don't see going on behind the scenes. And again, I don't get like this major comparing energy. And again, I'm not calling you out either, Scorpio. I've done it, right? I've done the whole comparing thing. But I feel like there's like, you could be kind of idealizing things. But not only that, I think you could be making things like, it's almost like you're making things harder than they need to be in your head with that Seven of Cups is what I'm getting. And what I mean by that is it's like maybe you see people in a business similar to yours or in a job that's similar. And maybe you're like, wow, they must do all this work. But I feel like it's not true. I feel like they don't do anything. So it's almost like you're doing yourself a disservice thinking that you have to like bust your ass really, really hard when maybe you don't. I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard, but what I am saying is, maybe by kind of like focusing and realizing they don't work harder, they just maybe they focus on the right thing more than everything else. I feel like you're kind of it's almost like you're having that realization this weekend. I feel like it makes you very successful in the future. I do feel like there's like some major rewards coming in for you because of this realization. It's like you're realizing that it's not like hard work. It's the fact that they focus on this one thing. Same thing in love as well. It's like I feel like you could be realizing like that you are enough, and it's like you're having this realization that changes everything. So damn. I love this. It's almost like this wake-up call kind of makes you realize something. So I like it. Pretty simple reading, but thank you for being here, Scorpio. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you this week. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Scorpio, and definitely enjoy your week.